The White House says it's all about winning the future. Their words. That's one of the broad themes as we learn more about the President's State of the Union address. We're told Mr. Obama will spend a good chunk of time tomorrow night talking about the economy, jobs, and making America competitive once again. To hear the president's spokesman tell it, the two parties are well positioned to find common ground on some big issues like cutting the budget.
We're not going to have a debate in Washington about whether we need to make some changes and whether we need to control our spending. We're going to have hopefully a bipartisan discussion and work together on how we go about doing that.
Certainly a lot of talk about bipartisanship heading into the president's big speech tomorrow night, especially after the Tucson shooting. But there's also a good deal of tension between fellow Republicans right now. Yes, tension among the Republicans themselves. Let's bring in our senior congressional correspondent, Dana Bash, who's been doing some reporting on this. Is it all about spending? What's going on here, Dana?
It is all about spending. As you just heard from Robert Gibbs, our understanding is the president is going to come here and speak to Congress tomorrow night, say that it is important to cut spending, but do it in a responsible way. And Republicans, they are under a lot of pressure to fight the president, use their new power to fight them hard on cutting spending in a big way. But not every Republican agrees on just how far to go.
Most Republicans demanding a slash in spending won't entertain the idea of taking a standoff with the president. So far, the government shuts down. But the top Republican on the Senate Budget Committee tells CNN he will.
Hopefully we'll avoid that. Hopefully that won't happen.
But you're not ruling out the possibility.
I don't, if the president is just stonewalls, refuses to pass anything that would be responsible, we'll have to see what happens.
In 1995, when Republicans controlled Congress, a spending stalemate forced a government shutdown. Many Republicans later concluded that was a mistake. President Clinton went on to win re-election. But Sessions insists there was an upside.
It worked out so well for Republicans.
The budget. No, it did. It worked out good for the country. We had 3 years of balanced budgets. It would never have happened had they not fought that hard in the Congress.
Comments like that, proof the president may be coming to address an emboldened GOP determined to cut government spending, but it's also a party with varying opinions on just how far to go. House GOP leaders talk about rolling spending back to 2008 levels this year, which they say adds up to $50 or $60 billion. A large group of House conservatives say not enough.
We can actually even go better than that. We can go back all the way back to 2006 and keep spending down at that level.
That's $2.5 trillion over 10 years. And unlike GOP leaders, House conservatives are willing to be specific, releasing this long list of proposed cuts, like $7.5 billion a year by cutting the federal travel budget, $1.3 billion in education cuts, $1.5 billion by doing away with Amtrak subsidies.
It's absolutely important to dig in. This is not just the semantics. This is not symbolism. This is not just the stuff that they're going to do on the floor saying is a Republican sitting next to a Democrat, that sort of thing. That's all symbolism. The American public wants more than that. The American public is smarter than that. They realize that symbolism lasts for a day, but this debt that we're creating lasts for generations.
Garrett and his conservative colleagues in the House are keeping the pressure on their GOP leadership. They released this letter today signed by 89 Republicans demanding that GOP leaders in the House don't go back on their promise to cut $100 billion this year. Meanwhile, Wolf, as far as House leaders go, it's pretty clear that they understand the intense pressure on them to cut spending. So the House Majority Leader, Eric Cantor, said today that it is likely that these Republicans, these conservatives who want to cut spending $2.5 trillion over 10 years, will probably get a vote on it.
Dana Bash, thanks very, very much.